Good afternoon, everyone, and thank you all so much for coming. And thanks to my colleagues who are part of this economic development stakeholder groups that includes members from the business community, from the nonprofit community, from educational institutions, from organized laborers, and several other elected officials, including Councilman Hudson and Metro Council President Marcus Winkler as well. Thank you all so much for your participation. We are here today to share the final version of our new Economic Development Action Plan. We've been working as a group since August to develop this plan and involving people not just here with us today, but from people all across the city. When we first announced the beginning of this process in August, I committed that this plan would be comprehensive, bold, actionable, and that it would get done before the end of this calendar year. And I'm proud to report that we have met that challenge, and the plan that we've named Growing Louisville Together is in its final form to start taking action on immediately. It's the strategy that will guide our decision-making about the future of our city's economy starting right now. We're doing this in part because it's been about a decade since an exercise this comprehensive has taken place in our city. And in the years since, so much has changed across our entire world and in our city itself. At the same time, there are ways that we need to speed up the pace of change locally so that we can proactively and strategically adapt to the changes that are happening so fast in technology, in the global economy, and in society. We have to address both short-term needs and long-term challenges and opportunity, and that's exactly what this plan does. We've developed this in conversation with more than 80 stakeholders, many of whom are here today across the city and that are representative of many parts of our local economy, with leaders in business, nonprofit organizations, education, government, and labor organizations all coming together. We've had 5 in-person sessions. We did a deep dive into the data, looking at our population, education, economic trends, and more. We listened, we debated, we asked a lot of questions of each other. And we had serious, straightforward, and honest conversations about what we are already doing well and what we must do better at. From these conversations, and informed by data and best practices, 4 primary themes emerged. Those were included in the draft plan that we released on November 16th. Those were first, investing in quality of place. We must do more to improve our public amenities and places for all Louisvillians to gather all across our city. Second, investing in people. We must prioritize the continued improvement of K-12 education, partnering with our higher education partners, and expanding early childhood learning for every 3- and 4-year-old in our city. Third, improving entrepreneurial development and access to capital. We must do a better job to build supportive and connected ecosystems for entrepreneurs, and we must do more to increase access to capital for small businesses. And fourth, telling Louisville's story to attract and retain people and businesses. We must be clear in establishing a distinctive and authentic brand to promote and celebrate Louisville. We can talk about any more of these in greater detail when it comes time for questions in a bit. But for now, I want to point out that when we released the draft of this plan about a month ago, we asked for more feedback from the public and from our partners in business and labor, in government and nonprofit, and from other organizations across the community. And we got feedback and we listened. And we incorporated much of that feedback into the finalized Growing Louisville Together plan that we're releasing today. Those changes include further strengthening our action items related to sustainability, small businesses, and equity. We've made updates to further address the concerns we heard about safety, cleanliness, and homelessness. Similarly, we've added an emphasis on apprenticeship programs, on tourism, hospitality, and more. I am proud of this process, and I want to thank everyone who's volunteered their time and energy to help develop this plan, which will continue to evolve as we implement the action items in the days, weeks, months, and years ahead. You'll be hearing from some of the stakeholders in a minute. We'll be working with them and other community partners across our entire city to make this plan a reality. And let me be clear, this plan and the work to create the economy of our future takes every one of us. Everyone in Louisville plays a part. There is plenty for all of us to do. For example, this plan calls for the creation of a new public-private partnership, which I fully support. This organization will engage the economic development resources of all of Metro government. It will work with the private businesses and labor sectors, together with educational institutions and philanthropic leadership in this community. Our team is already working on creating this partnership as we want it up and running as soon as possible. Growing Louisville Together includes hundreds of actions items. Some of them we can do right now. In fact, some are already underway. Then there are initiatives that will take years to complete. But that doesn't mean we can slow walk them or take our time. Actually, it's the exact opposite. We need to move urgently across the board, and that means we are taking the first steps now to achieve these long-term goals. We must set up partnerships and systems that will produce the economy that works for the people of Louisville in 5 years from now, in 10 years from now, and beyond. I am so excited about Growing Louisville Together because it gives us the roadmap to the city that we all want to create. And let's think about what that city can be. We want a city that is on the front pages of the Wall Street Journal and the New York Times, highlighting that Louisville is a place where young people are moving, businesses are growing and thriving, and universities are recognized as best in class. We want to create a city where our kids can grow up, get a great education, and know that pretty much any job, any career, any future that they want, they can create right here in Louisville, in our hometown, with their family close by. We want an authentic city that nurtures its own native daughters and sons and preserves the character of its parks and neighborhoods while attracting and welcoming people from all across the country and all around the world. We want a city that is a shining model of equity and opportunity. A city that understands that sustainability, quality of life, and economic growth are all intertwined in creating a best-in-class community. And a city that grows and that learns the lessons of our past so that the growth, investment, and increased prosperity that we're seeing already in some neighborhoods spreads to every neighborhood, inside the Watterson and outside the Watterson. That's what we're working to create in our city. And that's what the Growing Louisville Together plan will help us do. So we have to start right now. And we have to work fast, and we have to work together. We are here today to be clear that we are starting now, and we will work with haste to implement this plan. So I'm so excited to get to work, and I'm excited to introduce one of our stakeholders, the president of the University of Louisville, someone who has recently moved here, who hit the ground running herself and is doing an amazing job leading our flagship university. Ladies and gentlemen, President Kim Schatzel.
Thank you, Mayor Greenberg. It is indeed my pleasure to be here today as you announce this bold and most creative way forward to catalyze and revitalize the economic potential of this most amazing city, and in fact, double down on the incredible impact it makes on the prosperity of our region and all of Kentucky. As the president of the University of Louisville, I could not be more thrilled and more committed to the success of this plan and the tremendous optimism I have felt from all of the stakeholders involved in its creation. The University of Louisville and U of L Health are the second largest employers in Louisville and a top 10 employer in all of Kentucky. The U of L economic impact is over $8 billion, and much of that impact comes from our students. This past fall, the university celebrated its largest freshman class ever in its history, and we are well on our way to another historic enrollment for the fall of 2024. In short, U of L is the place that thousands of students are choosing to go to college and be career ready when they graduate. Each year, U of L graduates thousands of well-educated students fully prepared to hit the ground running in careers such as healthcare, business, engineering, education, computer science, and the arts. And over 80% of those graduates, well, they stay right here in Kentucky, and most of them make their home right here in Louisville, like Katrina Beek, who we'll be introducing soon. The University of Louisville is indeed an important and powerful talent pool provider to Louisville and Kentucky, and we are so looking forward to expanding that impact, working with you, Mr. Mayor, as well as your leadership team. This past year has seen another historic first for the university. It has achieved a record in research expenditures, almost $250 million in research to advance solutions in areas such as cancer research, heart disease, autism, additive manufacturing, cybersecurity, electric vehicle power, robotics, and drone technology, just to name a few. We aim to increase those expenditures and expand our impact on business and economic development by developing a research park that will be located behind our Speed School of Engineering on Eastern Parkway toward L&M Stadium. This park has the potential to house over 300,000 square feet of research space, bring dozens of companies along with thousands of new jobs to Louisville. So stay tuned on this exciting developing new venture between Business Louisville, Kentucky, and the University of Louisville. And Mr. Mayor, your support for this project, well, it means everything to us. I could also share that construction cranes on a campus, well, they warm the heart of every university president. And I also think it warms the heart of many mayors that I know as well. Well, we will see several cranes spring up on campus early next year. This spring, the University of Louisville will break ground on a new engineering building housing over 100,000 square feet of state-of-the-art space for research and instruction by our world-class Speed School of Engineering faculty. And it could not come soon enough as demand for our engineering and computer science degrees are reaching all-time highs. In this upcoming legislative session, with your support, Mr. Mayor, we are looking to advance the realization of a new building for our health sciences campus right downtown in the LUMED district. There are over 6,000 unfilled nursing positions in Kentucky, placing enormous burden on our ability to deliver quality and accessible health care to the citizens of Kentucky. The University of Louisville is the largest provider of nursing graduates in Kentucky, and this new building, with its state-of-the-art simulation centers, will allow us to increase our number of graduates by 50%. Yes, I did say 50%. Realizing a positive impact on Kentucky's workforce and improving health care for our neighborhoods and communities, I am so excited to be sharing our plans for this new building with our legislatures this upcoming session, and cannot thank you enough, Mayor Greenberg, for lending your support to this most important project. I want to make sure to mention the Business Engagement Center. That is a key part of the mayor's economic development plan that focuses on entrepreneurs and small to mid-sized businesses. The data shows that almost all job growth comes from businesses with under 500 employees. The notion of a centrally located and highly visible downtown business engagement center to support and expand the ecosystem of entrepreneurship in Louisville, kind of a one-stop shop for startups and expanding businesses that harnesses the resources of business, community, government, and educational partners throughout Greater Louisville. Well, it is the right time for such a project, and U of L is pleased to be a key partner in this venture, Mr. Mayor. In closing, I cannot express enough my enthusiasm for this truly bold, creative, and collaborative plan the mayor is announcing today. And I cannot express enough my enthusiasm for partnering with you, Mr. Mayor, and other community, business, and educational leaders in our city to realize this plan and move Louisville towards its incredible, bright future together. We are the University of Louisville and are dedicated to our city's success. Thank you, Mr. Mayor, for your bold vision and your leadership for our great city.
Thank you so much, President Schatzel. We are so excited to partner with U of L. And when we talked about this plan, it is clearly a plan for the entire city. But as you heard President Schatzel mention, one area that is particularly important is downtown, as the economic and cultural and so many other parts of the heart of our city. And so next, we're going to hear from the CEO of Stockyards Bank and also the current chairman of the Downtown Development Corporation, Jay Hillebrand, to talk a little bit more about how we are working together to improve downtown so that it is an even more amazing place to live, work, play, be entertained, and so much more. Jay?
Thank you, Mayor. It's great to be here. What a great day as we continue to move along with this plan. Thank you to the mayor for his leadership and having the foresight to put together such a robust and diverse team. Most of all, Mayor, thank you for listening to everyone. The key themes that came out of months-long process are critical to the future success of our community. Being on the advisory committee as well as chairing the Louisville Downtown Development Board has strengthened my resolve in the importance of downtown as a safe, central gathering space and why quality of place is so important. It is telling that investing in quality of place is first. As we know, that is something all of us are looking for, and that brings people together. Workforce development couldn't be more key for Louisville to grow. And as a member of the business community, as chairman and CEO of Stockyards Bank and Trust, we must be working on all aspects of attracting people to Louisville and growing the businesses that are invested here in Louisville today and tomorrow. We look forward to executing on this plan alongside all stakeholders, public and private, to drive deliverables to improve the future of our city and therefore our region. Growing Louisville Together is a bold economic development plan indeed, with a vast amount of thought and energy behind it. This guy's got so much energy. He's waiting for all of us to get off here so he can get back to work. I also want to thank the mayor for reaching across the political aisle and working with the state legislature to move our state's economic engine forward and prioritizing a plan that has actual steps to grow our city together. Ladies and gentlemen, a vibrant region, a vibrant Louisville needs a safe and vibrant downtown Louisville. We look forward to executing on this plan together. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Jay. We've been talking a lot about the business community here, but one important part of our economy is also our organized labor community. The men and women of organized labor do so much to strengthen the businesses that call Louisville home. And we need to make sure that as we move forward, we are working in partnership with organized labor to ensure that we are continuing to grow the number of employment opportunities so that people can have good paying career path jobs. So next, let's hear from one of those partners, the president of the Greater Louisville Central Labor Council and the president of UAW Local 862, Todd Dunn. Todd?
Thank you, Mayor. Wow. Coming here today, I was thinking, you only surround yourself with the people that you want to be successful with. And I know why you reach out to so many of us in the community, and all of us being resident experts in what we do. It's awesome to recognize that there's some things you need to do, like go to school again, Mr. President. I think after that, I'm getting close to retirement, but I think I'm going to have to go back to school, and I'm going to go to University of Louisville and finish up. So. No, so with that, I'm pleased that organized labor was at the table when this strategic plan was created, because the working men and women of our community are essential to a strong, growing economy. And I cannot thank Sister Carolyn Kane and Brother John Stovall for you all being there. I know within labor we have a lot of things that we're called upon, but we're all there as a team, and we represent all of labor in Louisville. It is even of more importance in understanding that technology and the advancement of that, it creates national security issues, whether it be manufacturing, whether it be technology. There's things that we just don't think about on a day-to-day basis about how the future is going to bring us in differences, challenges with technology and things of sort. So with that, Mayor, we appreciate your invitation and being a partner in this process. Whether we're putting the shine on our city through our downtown management district, like my great friend Stan Moore is chairing, growing an economic plan together. Together as a team, we're doing both. We're doing everything we can. We're doing everything we can. It's leave it better than we found it. That's our challenge as human beings. We're especially pleased that the plan puts such an emphasis on education and skills enhancement. We are well aware of the possible loss of jobs that new technologies such as robotics and artificial intelligence can cause. That's why it's vital for our workers to get more skills throughout their lives. An even stronger apprenticeship program is called for as the plan. It is also important for Louisville's future. Our people in Louisville work hard, and we have to be sure that they have the skills to be successful in the fast and ever-changing world. And we agree that it's urgent for us to get moving on carrying out this plan. Our other cities are being aggressive in planning our future, and now it's Louisville's time too. Organized labor is committed to working with the mayor always and forever, and the other stakeholders that make this plan a true reality. I hope that this helps understand a little bit more about how organized labor wants to be a part of our community, whether it be through philanthropic efforts or just trying to take us further. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Todd. It's also been very important for this effort to work with organizations that are already doing important work in this area across our city. And one of those organizations at the top of that list, of course, is Greater Louisville, Inc. Our next speaker is not only an important business leader in his own right, but is also the incoming chair of Greater Louisville, Inc. He's the president of HJI Supply Chain Solutions, Conrad Daniels. Conrad?
There are many organizations in our region who stand ready to work with Mayor Greenberg and the team and this plan that he's put forward, including GLI. As the 2024 board chair of GLI, I am optimistic, excited. This plan will leverage the expertise of new assets that we heard about, existing assets, and our regional chamber partners' assets, while also filling the gaps that we know exist within our community and structures. I believe this plan will help our city grow and also create distinctive roles and responsibilities for organizations that are critical to successful economic development and quality of place. And HGI Supply Chain Solutions, if not the largest, is one of the largest Black women-led organizations in this state. It's exciting. We are really going to do equity right in our most needed neighborhoods, Park Hill, Algonquin, Chickasaw. This plan gives the city the opportunity to hold each other accountable the right way and be transparent in a way that's never been done before, so that when we are long gone, because that's going to happen one day, we can see that we have closed the gaps when it comes to quality of life and creating generational wealth for all. The head coach has called the play. It's time for us to hold each other accountable, to execute on that play, adjust and pivot as needed, and win as a city. Thank you, Mayor Greenberg.
Thank you so much. Next is another person who is relatively new to Louisville and one of our largest employers, and such a key part of today's economy in Louisville and certainly tomorrow's economy of Louisville. And that is the president of UPS Airlines, Bill Moore, who is relatively new in this role, not new to UPS, and committed to working with us to ensure that his company and other companies that engage with his company have a bright future in the logistics industry and so much more right here in Louisville. Ladies and gentlemen, Bill Moore.
Thank you. Well, thank you, Mayor Greenberg, and good afternoon, everyone. And on behalf of our 25,000 plus employees in Louisville, UPS is thankful to Mayor Greenberg for taking the lead to develop this new strategic plan. It is time. and Louisville has a lot to offer to both new businesses and established ones. While this plan may have been created at the direction of the mayor, it represents views from residents and business leaders from all areas of Louisville. Now comes the exciting part, implementing the plan. UPS looks forward to working alongside Mayor Greenberg and his team to support the plan's success and to assist with recruiting great future companies to Louisville. Thank you.
And our final speaker today is someone who is a bright reflection of our bright future. Someone who I didn't know before a half an hour ago. Someone who we read her words recently in a local publication that she wrote with her thoughts about the future of our city, that spoke to all of us who are engaged in this effort in our administration, and that we thought it was important to share a young person's perspective who is right now a junior at the University of Louisville and who's excited to be continuing her studies here in Louisville and is excited about her life and future right here in our city. So ladies and gentlemen, for our final speaker, a junior at the University of Louisville, someone who loves our city as much as I do, Katarina Beek.
Thank you so much, Mayor Greenberg. I am just absolutely elated to be here. I was born and raised in Louisville, and I wrote this opinion piece out of my just passion for the city. Our mayor has shared his agenda to transform Louisville over the next 5 years, wanting it to be known as one of the greatest cities in the country, and I hope that more students will begin to recognize how hard the leaders of this city work to turn it into something wonderful. By staying here, I am investing in our city, and I know how important it is that students with potential don't feel the need to leave Louisville due to pressures in their lives. The stigma that you must leave your hometown to find success and happiness is not true, especially if you live in Louisville. This city has endless opportunities, and I am proud of my life here. The more of us who stay and work to build up our community, the more our city will thrive. If your heart is calling you to stay, aspiring college student, then rest assured, this city is one where you can always keep growing.
Thank you so much, Katarina. What a well thought out and optimistic note to end this on, to really think about the future that is so bright for our amazing city that we all love. We are so excited to continue working every day to implement this economic development action plan. Again, thank you to everyone who's here with us today, the 40 or 50 or other so people that were involved in this process that are not with us, and to everyone across the community who participated with their questions, their comments, their feedback, their ideas, and their encouragement to not just make this plan a reality, but who have expressed an interest in helping to implement this plan so that our kids and grandkids have a Louisville that's even safer, stronger, and healthier than the city we love, Louisville, is today.
Mr. Daniels' point about equity and making sure that everybody participates in the economic growth was kind of interesting. What are some parts of the plan that are going to help ensure that as the city grows, everybody gets to take part?
There are several things that we must do better. Right now, our city has a population that is approximately 23-24% black, yet less than 3% of the businesses in our city are owned by individuals who are black. That is simply unacceptable. We can and we must do better in ensuring that everyone has the same opportunities and knowledge base and education to succeed and thrive and open a business if they want to. And so one of our focuses in this plan is really a focus on equity broadly, but specifically on how can we help individuals who have not had access to succeed, who have not had access to borrowing money to start businesses, to give them those tools that they need so that they can start businesses and create wealth, generational wealth for their family, so that they can have more access to capital, so that there aren't hurdles in their way. One thing that we can do as a city better is with respect to our procurement. When we as a city spend a lot of money. We have to go through an RFP process, a public bidding process. Right now, just the way that goes, given the large contracts that are sometime awarded, small businesses, particularly businesses that are owned by individuals who are Black, who are Hispanic, women-owned business, disabled-owned, veteran-owned businesses, might have challenge competing against bigger companies. We can and we must do better with our city procurement process to give more small businesses the opportunity to succeed. Those are just some of the things. We must continue to invest in neighborhoods that have been overlooked for our entire lifetime as well. And also, education. There are far too many people in our city that are born into a life of poverty who don't get the same educational opportunities as everyone in our city. And so that's why universal pre-K is such an important equalizer, because research is clear. If you start your education early, you are far more likely to lead a more prosperous life, to lead a healthier life, and to have more options to succeed.
Issues you're looking to work with the state on?
Well, there are several things that we're looking to work with the state on. In fact, there are several that are in our legislative agenda that we've been talking to Governor Beshear and his administration about, as well as the state legislature. Right now, many of our state tax incentives are geared towards encouraging manufacturing business and agricultural related businesses, both of which are incredibly important. But as our city's economy continues to grow, we also need to do a better job of encouraging professional services businesses, technology, engineering-related businesses, and the current incentives that are on the state books right now are not geared towards those as much. And so we're working to see if there are ways this would benefit not just Louisville, but all of the state. Also, there are several statewide programs that have provided capital to invest in small businesses, some of which I was just referring to earlier. Those programs like Commonwealth Seed Capital have not been funded recently. And so we're asking the state to refund those programs, to fund more to put state dollars to invest in small businesses that will grow, create good paying career path jobs here, and also create wealth for the individuals who start those businesses who historically might not have had as much access to capital. So those are a few of the state initiatives that we're talking about.
So, Mayor, who's kind of tasked with making sure this gets off paper? I know you mentioned it's going to require the help of everyone, but we heard about like accountability. Like, who is the person or persons who are figuring out the KPI?
Do I hear footsteps behind me? Okay, fine. I got someone. Riggs is running from the stage. He's saying, not me, not me, not me. So there's several answers to that question. In the short term, Deputy Mayor Pat Malloy is taking the lead on the implementation of this plan and coordinating not just throughout our administration, but with the partners in the stakeholder group and others across the community to begin implementing this plan. Part of that is putting together a team that's going to do several things. One is going to ensure that we track our progress on this plan. We need to be very clear with the community about where we're making progress, where we need some assistance, and if the world changes and we need to pivot and change, we'll be very candid about that as well. And so putting together basically a dashboard to implement this plan that we will share with the public, Deputy Mayor Malloy is working on a team that will do that. In the longer term, we also call for in here the implementation of this plan to have a new nonprofit organization that will be a partnership of public and private organizations that will drive this plan forward and that will drive economic development for our city forward. That is something that we hope to have announcements on next year that will be implemented sometime in the first 2 quarters of next year. A new organization that will be led by a board and that will have more information about that. But then also it requires everybody, as I mentioned. It's going to require the partnerships of the institutions that are and organizations that are represented on this committee. It's also going to require our administration's continued involvement. It's going to require the support of Metro Council. And so there are going to be a lot of folks that are involved in continuing to do this. But initially, we'll put together this dashboard. That will stay housed in the administration probably, and this new economic development organization that we'll have more details about next year. Maybe one more question. All right, well, thank you all very much. We're excited to get to work.